Alright, hey, what's up everybody? So, this video response is to a video that's only 5 days old, which means I am like on top of it. I'm almost like a real YouTuber. So anyways, guys, this is a response video to Femtropper, a buddy of mine who made a video called Games I Have Dropped, which really could be called, that could be like the name of my channel. Basically, that's how I play games. So, just a little background before we get into it. You know, she discusses in the video why she stopped playing certain games before she completed them. She's really big on completing games, whereas I'm really not. I didn't grow up beating a lot of games. Like, that wasn't like a thing like we did a lot as kids. You know, I grew up in the age of Nintendo, and even we played like in television and Atari, so a lot of games didn't have a true ending. They were just like a score base, but yeah, as kids, like the games were a lot harder back then, so our focus wasn't beating them, it was just playing and having fun. So from an early age, beating games was never a priority. Obviously, as I've gotten older, I want to beat more and more games, but for me, the biggest thing is just a time constraint. If I start a game and I'm not completely feeling it, I'm, not super in love with the game, I really don't care if I don't beat it or not. Like, if I get enough out of it where I know whether or not it's for me or that I care enough to get to the end, um, then I'm just going to stop playing it. I don't have the kind of time to finish every game, especially if I'm not really enjoying it. So I've got a stack here of just 4 games I'm going to go over and just kind of explain why I stopped playing them. And maybe not necessarily because they're bad games. It's just things happen, and I'll go through it here. The first one I want to start off with is, because it's a video response to Paige, is a game that I know is going to hurt her and probably some other people, but it's, well, I got to do the camera here. Yakuza Zero. So I've never played a Yakuza game. And I was telling some friends on Discord, I'm like, yeah, I really want to play Like a Dragon. I love turn-based RPGs, and I hear it's a phenomenal game. And they're like, oh yeah, you definitely have to play that, but you have to play this game first. And that's this, because you have to get to know the main character, Kiryu. Awesome character. I got 6-ish hours into the game. 5 or 6 hours, and I enjoyed it. It's not a turn-based RPG. It's, more of an action game. Nothing wrong with that. Not my favorite, but I play them from time to time. However, I was, I beat the first boss, which was like a tutorial boss, so it's not necessarily very difficult. But then I stopped playing for about a week. I just got busy, and when I picked it back up, it was when it drops you into more of like a free zone where you can kind of do what you want to do, and I was lost. I didn't know what to do. I don't remember what the game had asked me to do from a week prior, so I kind of stopped playing it, and then I just didn't pick it up again. I will say, of the 4 games I'm going to go over today, this is the one that I definitely will go back to, hopefully this year, because I want to get into Like a Dragon, and now that Infinite Wealth is out, I definitely want to play those games, and I've heard you got to play this first, so I dropped it for now, but this one, hopefully I get back to. The next game, this one is probably the one I dropped the longest time ago from this list, but I kind of want to go over it because I'm just still disappointed by this one, and that's Super Mario Origami King. I love the original Mario RPG, and I feel like every game since then, since they lost touch with Square, is gotten progressively worse and further away from being an RPG. Where this is not an RPG at all. It's just like, it's hard because I enjoyed the art style. I got a decent ways into it. I played probably about 10 hours. I enjoyed the art style. I enjoyed the writing was really good. It had me laugh a couple times. The writing was really smart and sarcastic. I liked it a lot. But going around the world and like finding how to use the paper mechanics to solve little puzzles, really fun. That part was fun. But the fighting was horrible. Like, where to the point where I was avoiding fights because it just wasn't enjoyable. I hated that circle system, and there's no point to fighting. It's because in that RPG you don't level up or gain any benefits. You just do all these redundant fights over and over again. I'd rather have the turtle, Koopa Troopers, or other enemies just on the main world where I could just jump on them, or figure out a way to unfold them in real time or something, and just move on. That would have been a much more streamlined, much more fun game. But the way they did the combat in this, it killed it for me. I just lost interest in the game. As much as I enjoyed the story and the writing, It wasn't enough to keep me going with that combat. So this one hurts probably the most because I pre-ordered it uh, from limited run. It looked awesome. Actually has somewhat similar style to the Paper Mario games, and it looked really right up my alley. And that is Bug Fables. It has a subtitle, The Everlasting Sapling, if that matters to you guys. But yeah, so where this one fell short is kind of the opposite of Paper Mario. The Origami King, in my opinion, is that once again the art style was cute and great. I loved it. I love the bugs, the bug puns, and the little bug towns that you go into. The characters were great. The writing was fantastic. Again, the interactions that they have, I enjoyed the main characters, and the combat in this was really great. It was simplified in a way, but still you had to think and kind of strategize each fight or plan out each fight, because if you didn't, you could lose like any normal fight. It was, and when I say basic, it was like a really good attack does like 3 damage. It's like 1, 2, or 3, and it does incorporate some of the older like mechanics where if you press the button at the right time, your attack does more, or you could do like defense, like you could take less damage from attacks. And the attacks that you had on your different characters, the different bugs, actually made an impact on who you're fighting. So if you're fighting a flying bug, you wanted to do more damage by using like the boomerang. Or if it was a bug that burrowed underground, one of them had to use an ability to like dig them up and get them to come back to the surface before you could do more damage. So those kinds of mechanics were a lot of fun. Where this game fell short for me is that um, the outside of combat, the rest of the time you're traveling around, they throw a lot of puzzles at you, and you have to use the abilities of the different bugs to get through each of the puzzles. And there's some platforming where you have to do some jumping and stuff. So my issue is that the way the art style is it's very 2D on like a 3D plane. So the characters are all flat like paper, but you have to perform these things on like a 3-dimensional grid, and it just didn't work very well in my opinion. I like trying to throw a boomerang at something and hit it, like I was always off, like going in a different direction, and it kind of took me out of it a little bit. Uh, where I wish they would have just held that to a minimum, or if their abilities were more used to like uncover secrets or like find like upgrades and stuff like that. But there was more emphasis in the game on the puzzle solving, like using those things, or platforming and me falling all the time, than there was the actual fighting. I wish it would have been a much more straight up traditional, just RPG where the combat was the focus, because they did a great job at that. But it lost me on the puzzle solving. And then the last game, this one I'm gonna include because I want to be controversial, because I know people love this game. Everybody I watch on YouTube loves this game. I tried, guys. I tried so hard, and I just couldn't get into it. And that is Xenoblade, the first one. I have never played any of them. I tried playing this one, and it just didn't work for me. I hated the combat. I don't mind the old graphics. I mean, this is originally like what, a Wii game? The graphics are fine. They look great. Even I don't know if they upscaled it a little bit for this, but you can tell it's an older graphic. I still thought they looked really good. I liked the characters that I got introduced to. I mean, I only played this for 10 hours or so. Um, the storyline was working for me. What a cool, interesting, unique setup that these are taking place on two giants, and that you're fighting these robots that you don't really know why they're attacking you. It was really cool. I liked that. I could not understand the combat, and I tried. I really tried. I tried switching things around and trying to upgrade stuff. I could not grasp the concept behind the combat at all. It didn't work for me. I didn't enjoy it, and it made it really quickly turn into like a sludge for me. Just like not enjoying the game because of that. And obviously, this game is an RPG, and that style. There's a lot of combat, a lot of enemies on the open fields, and I couldn't get it down, guys, and I didn't like it. And I know people love this game, and this is one of those ones I wanted to. I wanted to love all these games. It just didn't click with me. It didn't work. And as you go on in your gaming, what do we call it, career, life, history, you have to sometimes make those tough choices. And For me, the tough choice was putting down Xenoblade. So, guys, that's it. That's my response. Game however you want to game. If you want to beat games, if you beat every game that you play no matter what, that's awesome. I am jealous that you can do that. I can't do it, though. So, those are my games that I've recently dropped. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.